Now I've been thinking a lot about wavy as a whole lately, but there's a specific song by them that set me into this whole deep dive in the first place, and that's their song Moonwalk. Now, this concept is really interesting to me. There are some groups where I don't particularly like them as a group, but one of their albums or concepts just really interests me. Like, for example, 17's Fear Era, like In Hyphen's Dark Blood EP. And I think that's just how I feel about wavy, because there are a lot of concepts that K-pop groups have for an album that are just so well thought out and like are just works of art, and usually they just finish it and just move on to the next concept. So it's fun for me to just like analyze the heck out of it until there's not a single piece of information left. Now, I've listened to a lot of wavy's title tracks except this one. I somehow missed Moonwalk. I was a little bit unsure about the beginning at first, but once you let it cook and marinate, once the seasoning kicks in, it punches you in the face with a phenomenal chorus. It feels like a short song, but it gets its point across very easily. It goes by so quickly though. It's already over when you realize, like, oh wow, that was actually good. It's like a simple treat that only requires one bite, but that one bite contains flavors and textures that make your taste buds melt. And then it's gone, and then you reach for another and another. The song starts out with an almost haunting beginning. It has a soft piano and then chanting vocals. The background makes you feel like you're watching the beginning of Wall-E, a dystopian world set in the future. All that's left is a wasteland and little spacecrafts that float around aimlessly. Then suddenly the violin kicks in. Then the vocals pick you up and take you higher and higher until the song starts with a beat drop. You're introduced to Kun and Xiaojun first, with something like a ticking clock in the background, slowly building the anticipation for what's to come. Meanwhile, a ton of asteroids are hurtling towards Earth while the clock ticks backwards, symbolizing their time is up for the current world they live in, and that they need to start over in order to create a better one. They describe the world around them and what they want it to become, describing the light, the water, and being in awe of all the beauty surrounding them. Then, of course, the rap kicks in, continuing this feeling of new beginnings, of a brand new start for their society, saying, "It seems like, or it's as if I've returned to the origin of the universe, taming the darkness in the earth." Now, reading this part makes me think that they're either aliens from another universe or Jesus. I don't know. So, and another member says, "After flying and searching for civilization, I finally rest on the seventh day." I know it's probably metaphorical, but it's funnier to think that the story is about some aliens invading an abandoned Earth left behind by humans who destroyed it or something. Once the rap finally comes to a close, literally out of nowhere, 10 jumps in to sing the pre-chorus. You don't even realize what's coming until he suddenly serves the chorus to you with a high note, leaving the group to deliver the rest of it. I don't even have to explain the chorus. It speaks for itself. It's funny, there are so many theories about the meaning of this song. Honestly, the English translation is a bit confusing to read anyway. I mean, even some people that speak Chinese are arguing in the comments. But after thoroughly reading the comments and coming to my own conclusion, I think this song has elements of a story about starting a new society in a desolate wasteland, or a civilization starting over after basically destroying itself. To me, it sounds a bit of like a hopeful song. It also has a bit of God metaphors in there too. After watching the behind the scenes videos, I found out that the Chinese name for Moonwalk is the castle the gods chose, or when I put it into Google Translate, the chosen city. Oh, I just love this. I just found a Reddit post of somebody like basically saying the same things as me. And someone said, "This song is a real treat." Like, yes, it is a real treat. It's a delicious, delectable treat. wow, in the post they were talking about they watched a video of somebody reacting to the song, and they were talking about how dense the Chinese lyrics are, how dense meaning wise they are. Like, it has a lot of it's very poetic apparently, and they were talking about how I wish I could listen to this song from the perspective of a person that speaks Mandarin. And like, me too. That's how I, like, literally, that's exactly how I feel. Anyway, after all of that, it made me wonder why the song is called Moonwalk in the first place. I think it has to do with the song's theme being all about taking the first steps for humanity. Like, you know how the first moon landing was all like, one step for man, one giant step for humanity, something like that. I feel like that's what the writers were going for. Ow. I just bit my lip. Also, I remembered that it wasn't just this song. wayv's first 3 mini albums, including this one, had a very strong sci-fi spaceship vibes going for it. Like their song, I'm Ready for Takeoff, and one of their first songs, Dream Launch, was all about them like reaching for the stars, for their dreams, which I think is like the perfect concept to have for a group just starting out, like taking the first steps and all that. And I think that's what drew me to this concept in the first place. It just felt very sweet to me, especially their song Dream Launch, which I will talk about very soon. Anyway, back on topic to Moonwalk. I was just talking about how short the song feels, but it also doesn't need to be any longer. Every part has a purpose that leads up to the satisfying bridge where the song comes full circle, and the eerie melody of the piano and the violin come back, taking you higher and higher again, until, instead of dropping you, Xiaojun does a little twirl and shoots you off into space with a high note that neatly wraps the song into a little bow. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Yes, he literally does a spin before the high note. It's so dramatic looking, but he did what he had to do to get the point across, okay? That's literally my favorite part. Overall, this concept is very captivating to me. The colors drew me in especially. I'm also a big fan of the outer space imagery and references in the music videos. It has a very sweet and subtle sci-fi inspiration, the kind that's not cold, white, and barren in a way that makes me fall asleep, but in the cozy, brown, and warm tones that feel earthy and yet futuristic at the same time, similar to the wall-e vibes I mentioned. I would say that it always looks a bit dystopian, but I feel like the sweet part about it is I feel like there's always a glimmer of hope in these videos, and in the media that it seems to have taken inspiration from. Also, a fun fact, I found this out because of the Reddit post I mentioned earlier, but it said that the song Moonwalk is subtly inspired by a motif from the E.T. soundtrack. The main guy working on it, Adrian McKinnon, thought of the stars and sky and the scene in E.T. when they were riding their bikes in the night sky while he was writing the lyrics. Okay, maybe I was wrong about only liking one of their concepts. I think wayv is just a pretty interesting group. Their choruses kind of remind me of second gen sometimes a lot, and I usually like that kind of sound that boy groups used to have during that time, so I definitely will keep an eye on wayv in the future. And I'm thinking of making another video about their song Dream Launch, and just more about that concept in the future. At first I was going to put them all into one video, but I don't think that's how I roll, I think. But I'm definitely going to make a video about Dream Launch. Like, that's my first priority. My first priority. Number one priority. But yeah, I'll definitely keep an eye on wayv more in the future. I don't know how I feel about their newest comeback. Really, I'm not sure what's going on with him. I think they're in, like, China right now, like, doing a tour, aren't they? I don't know, currently? I saw a recent video and I was like, what is going on in Shanghai? But yeah, more videos about wayv to come, though, I think.